Happy New Year, and welcome to the first Authors Corners podcast of 2026. The podcast is sponsored by Stevens Book Agency LLC and Grace Visionary Authors Guild. Joining me is author Shun Hartley, a member of the Guild and an author who has frequented our podcast before. Welcome, Brother Shun. Good to see you.
Well, good to see you, and Happy New Year to you and to those who are viewing. We want to say thank you very much for this opportunity to come and just share about what's been going on in the Author's Corner.
Good. Well, we are so glad to have you. So how has your New Year been so far?
Everything has these 8 days into the new year have been great. Have been really inspired, to write things that I've been seeing, in our society. Really just kind of influenced me to want to write and voice my opinion in the form of writing and just share how I think that solutions can come about, within this world. And I think it's great that those of us who write, that we have an opportunity to where we can share, our thoughts in the form of books.
Your books are all so positive and so inspiring. Where does it come from?
Well, I've always felt, most of them are children's book as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that I was solving the world's greatest problems, dealing with young people. So I am inspired when I see issues, problems, situations. We're very opinionated people,
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I decided to take my opinions and put them in the form of a book. And if it can be something that can be helpful to young people, even parents, giving them principles and tips on how they can help develop positive attitudes, how they can help with developing manners, for young people. This is what has inspired me to want to write. And again, I just feel that when I am writing, that I'm solving the world's greatest problem, in particular to our young people.
Young people.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So now let's just take a walk down memory lane, if you will, because
Okay.
we have all of your books that you have written. So let's just review the books that you've written, and then we'll introduce your new book.
Okay, good. So again, thank you for having me. The first book, during COVID, I was teaching martial arts, and because of the directives to stay home, many of us, we couldn't go out and we couldn't have these large gatherings, because of the spread of COVID. So I wasn't able to teach martial arts anymore, and I missed working with the young people at the time. So I decided to write Developing a Positive Attitude for Youth. And I wanted to highlight the strong points of martial arts, how it helps with discipline with our young people, how it provides a sense of structure. And I was one who loved to take the kids out to tournaments, and so it gives them that winning edge, that spirit of champion, And so I decided to write and put my thoughts on how martial arts can help young people, and so that's where Developing a Positive Attitude come from. The coloring books, it's no secret that I worked with the Head Start program. I want to say from 95, 96 to 2001. So I loved coloring with the kids, writing, reading and coloring. And so I decided to do 3 series of my martial art coloring activity books. This one here, the emphasis is on respect, respect to your elders, respect in the classroom, and you also have several activity sheets in there as well. The second one here, I want to talk about teamwork. I wanted young people to understand that you can work as a team. It's not, it doesn't have to be mine. We, and we work together as a team. You clean up together as a team,
Right.
okay? And so the third one is leadership. Wanted the young people to know too that, you can be a doctor, you can be a law enforcement officer, you can be a teacher, you can be a judge, and this is what we highlight in my third coloring book, along with activities in that book as well. So they're coloring and activity books. Also, we talk about shapes in my third book as well, coloring book.
Mm-hmm.
From the coloring books, we went to Leo and Me. I always had a fascination for dogs, and
Okay.
in particular, boxers.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this young boy, LaShawn, wanted the perfect gift for his birthday. His mother said, "We'll get it, but you're gonna have to be responsible, for keeping up with your dog. They're like family members,
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things too, I want to say, I was law enforcement, and I noticed that when the people would have to evacuate and leave the city, there were several dogs that were left behind, animals, pets. And I'm thinking, where are the owners, And so that kind of inspired me to want to push forward and go ahead and write a children's book on owning pets. And we really put emphasis on being responsible pet owners, yeah. And so, one of my last one here is Chocolate Like Me. You might wonder, now, where did that come from? Chocolate Like Me. So I was inspired to write it. This is Little Sam, is his name, the character, Little Sam. Little Sam is teased as a young boy, about the complexion of his skin. We know that sometimes society can put a stigma,
Right.
on dark complexion. But little Sam learns from his parents, that he's just as great and significant, have something of value within him. And so he goes to school on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And he see all of these community leaders, So the first one he sees is an officer who welcomes him to school. And his little Sam says, "Wow, he's chocolate like me." So he see all of these community leaders, and he's just amazed that these guys are chocolate like me, So there's educators, there's the business owner, there's the great reverend that comes through and gives him encouraging words, and he goes back home and he shared with his parents that he is so amazed that there are so many community leaders that's
Just
chocolate like him. Yeah.
Very
So,
good.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. Very
Mhm.
good. I'm listening to as you're speaking, and the word that keeps coming to my mind is responsibility, stability. In your books, a positive attitude. They all have that. You know what I'm saying? So let me just ask you a question. What is your background? Tell me a little bit about Brother Shun growing up.
Okay, so at 7 years old, my dad joined the military. Okay, I'm originally from Gulfport, Mississippi, and I've been here now in Lake Charles for 35 years. Okay, and of course married, with 3 wonderful daughters and 5 grandkids. Can you believe that?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
So my dad joined the military and we began to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so fascinated with this Oriental man called Bruce Lee.
Mm.
My mother had taken me to see Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how does he do that? And so our first duty station, we was overseas, Erlangen, Germany. And so I saw at one of the recreation facility, I saw guys out there kicking. I said, that's like that Oriental guy that I saw, in the movies. And so I always wanted to learn martial arts. So my martial arts instructors started to give me that confidence, started to help me develop structure in my life, focus. So martial arts has this built-in mechanism to where it teaches one how to become goal-oriented. White, yellow, green, blue, red, black belt, okay? And so that inspired me to hear my instructors say, you have to work hard, you have to dedicate yourself and commit yourself. So I would always hear this from every military base that we had traveled to. I was fortunate to have some great martial arts instructors who really poured in me, who inspired me, was willing to take me out to competition. I found myself winning in these tournaments, Yeah, so that really gave me that confidence. Yeah, that really made me feel that nothing is impossible. That really made me feel like, dark complexion, that doesn't mean anything. Man, I'm a winner, Yeah. And so that is what has given me that edge of one, feeling like that I am an achiever. But I tell you what, it really the icing on the cake, when I met a man.
Come on now.
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake.
Right.
Yeah, that really made me feel that I can do all things through Christ.
And who is that man? So
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. So now that brings us to your new book. Okay, and I'm very excited. The title of his new book is called Basic Manners for Kids. And my first question to you is, what motivated you to write this particular book?
Well, again, like I said, I believe that those of us who are engaged with what's going on in our society, social issues, I think we're very opinionated, And so, as I watched a lot of the unfortunate incidents that occurred within our community and even in other states, a lot of violence, just on social media, our children fighting, and they glamorize that stuff, So my thought has been, if we just go back to some basic manners, if parents would take time to engage their kids and talk to them about the importance of being courteous, compassionate, to your fellow man, I think that will bring about more harmony in the world, And I think a lot of the senseless killing that we're witnessing, a lot of the violence that we're seeing with our young people, if only parents would be engaging, and if they would just take the time to explain to them, this is how you interact with your fellow man. You speak, you say excuse me, you say I'm sorry, or you tell them goodbye, hello, or you open the door for someone, and that would bring about harmony within our society.
Now, as we enter this year, 2026, what are some words or thoughts that you could share with parents who are trying to do the best that they can in raising their children?
Well, there's a couple of things. It's not just one thing that's going to work, and everyone has different situations, that they're dealing with. Even the family structure, the way each one of our household is different. But I do believe in the book here twice. I do explain how Nate and Kate, our two young people in the book, how their parents take time at the kitchen table to even say a prayer over the food, okay? The kids are able to see that mom and dad, they speak to a higher being, okay? At night, when they're getting ready to go to sleep, mom and dad goes into the room. Or even if you're a single parent, spending that time in prayer with your child, okay? Now from there, I do believe that you have to be intentional, engaging in conversation, explaining why manners are important, and even demonstrating, not just in word, but in deeds. And we have to be the ones, who can demonstrate to our kids and say, good morning to our kids, because you're going to get that back, and saying please and thank you to our kids, we're going to get it back, And so I think if they see that modeled from their parents, they will begin to feel that it's a norm. It's a norm.
Right.
And so these are normal habits that they're going to take out into the community where, all right, now look, social norms, you're spreading these norms amongst your friends and your peers. But you have to be solid, though, before you can get out there, before someone else influence you in a negative way. So parents are so important and critical at such a young age to teach basic manners, these tips. Yeah. Working with the Head Start program, you got these 3 and 4 year olds. I mean, I saw how they came in with that, already having that built-in character and personality, things that they saw at home when they'll come to school, preschool, and they'll imitate it right there in the classroom. Yeah. So it's so important that parents model good basic manner tips, for their kids. And I call them building blocks because there's always different phases and levels, where you and I as grown-ups now, we're going to often say please.
That's right.
We're going to often
Those
open the
things,
door,
right,
you know,
right.
of someone and say thank you, you know, showing that you appreciate someone's service. They don't have to be nice to you. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you get that in return as well. You hear a lot of young people who say, you know, my teacher better respect me and this and that. Well, you have to show respect as a young person. You know, I've always felt that an elder, you show elders respect, and that person will know that, you know what, this is a well-mannered young man here, a young lady, you know. And so you're going to get that in return. Yeah, you get it in return. But it has to be modeled.
Right, right, you know. And trends come and trends go. But manners, please, thank you, I'm sorry, excuse me, those last forever.
They do.
They last forever. Now I have one last question for you here. You spoke about your experience in law enforcement. Now, how important or how necessary is treating people with respect and dignity? Simply saying thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry. How, you know, how important is that?
Well, very. When of course I'm retired now, law enforcement, and if I've worked large events, football games, or activities at the Civic Center, you know, Bergen Coliseum. If there was a fistic encounter, you know, we won't always, you know, de-escalate, you know, the situation. But if there's a continuity of peace and harmony because people are respecting one another, if you're trying to get by a large crowd, you say, excuse me. If you just try to push your way and force your way, then you're going to get some resistance, and that's when you're going to have these physical encounters, you know. And so it is extremely important, you know, to exercise these basic manners even as adults, and in particular when you are in a large gathering, large setting, you know, where there's a lot of people. And people are passionate about what's going on. If it's a football game, basketball game, you know, that's when these manners really need to be on display, so that can be a continuity of peace and harmony within the group.
Within the group,
Yeah.
that's correct. Now, Brother Shun, how can our viewing audience get your books?
Well, very easy. You can go to Amazon.com. Also, if you want a personal signed copy, you can email me at hartleysam50@gmail.com. That's lowercase h, hartleysam50@gmail.com. And if you live local here, you can always you can always get in touch with me again by way of social media, and we can meet in a central location if you so desire to just get a personal copy from me, but email or Amazon.com.
And I have to say that when you gave me my copy and I opened it up to the dedication, I want to thank you so much, because that was just so special. It just made my heart happy for the special thanks and dedication to myself and the Authors Guild.
Yeah.
You know, it's my desire to bring local authors to the forefront. And with Brother Shun, and behind the camera is author Connie Chavis. So should you say hello?
Hello.
Yes. So again, Brother Shun, thank you so much for coming and being our first guest of 2026 on our podcast. And to our listening audience, please go out and purchase his books. As he stated, they are on Amazon. And also, Brother Hartley has a Facebook page where you can message him personally if you'd like to purchase a book. So again, Brother Hartley, on behalf of the Guild and Stevens Book Agency, we thank you so very much.
And I thank you too, and I know I'm saying this for all of the authors that you have been in support of, you have inspired. You always say that we have a story, and
Yes.
it needs to be expressed. And so I want to thank you for the very first time when I saw your book, and I'm thinking, wow, I know an author, you know? Yeah, and so you were, and still is, an inspiration to me and many others. So thank you very much for what you do for all of the authors here.
Well, I sure appreciate that. And to authors out there that's in podcast land, On February 7th at 11 a.m. at Epps Library, we will be having an author and a writer's workshop. So we're inviting all local authors to come out and meet us at Epps Library February 7th, which is the first Saturday in the month of February at 11 a.m. And we will give out more information on that on our Facebook page, Grace Visionary Authors Guild, and Stevens Book Agency, LLC. So again, I thank you for being a part of our Authors Podcast. Happy New Year to you again. Good evening.